Okay, so it's quite a difficult question actually. I thought this was going to be a much easier worksheet, but so what it's saying is that to get the next term, then we are multiplying it by some mystery value a, and then we're subtracting it by another mystery value b to get from the next term. So this is the first term, this is the second term, so this is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term, and this is the fourth term. The n refers to which term is it. So it's so 1 means it's the first, 2 means it's the second term, and so on. So xn would be, you could call that the nth term. Okay, so if n was 1, then the xn would be, or x1 would, so x1 over here, that means the first term. And the first term you can see is 1. The second term you can see is oh wait a second. That should be right. I'm mixing up the two rows of numbers. So the second term was 3, the third term was 17, and the fourth term was 115. So what we could, a more general formula would be to say that xn plus 1 is equal to a multiplied by xn minus b. In other words, the next term, which we can say xn plus 1, is equal to a multiplied by the current term minus this b. So then we would go, for example, x2 is equal to a multiplied by x1 minus b. You can see that n plus 1 will just be 1 plus 1, so 2. We know what x2 is, it's 3. So therefore 3 is equal to a multiplied by x1, which is just 1, so a times 1 is 1, minus b. Now we can't solve this problem because we've only got one equation and we've got two unknowns. But we can do, this is going to involve simultaneous equations. So the next one that we can do is we can do x3 is equal to a multiplied by x2 minus b. So again, I'm just using this general formula to sub these in. And we've got, this time we know that x3 is 17. So 17 is equal to a multiplied by 3. So let's put the numbers up on the left. So 3a minus b again. And now we have a second equation. With these two equations, we can solve the problem. Well, I'm going to color those in let's say, put that one in, not orange, it's difficult, maybe a darker orange. And we'll have this one in, let's say, blue. And okay, I'm going to group that, and I want to actually, I want to just, I want to select both of them, thank you. And we've got these, and we're going to look at these two equations together, like this. And we're going to solve them. So this is now linking with simultaneous equations. If you just want to follow me over to the right, I'm going to solve this simultaneous equation. So we've got, how do we, first of all, so solving simultaneous equations, there are a number of different ways. I'm going to use one of the most commonly ones taught at school, and that is to look for the similarities between the equations. Both equations are minusing b. So what I can do is I can do equation 1 plus, no, sorry, let me get this right. Yeah, minus equation b. What am I talking about? Minus equation 2. So what would that look like? Or maybe it would make better to, let's do equation 2 minus equation 1 actually, because then we end up with a positive number on the left-hand side. So we get the equal sign there, and then we look at the left-hand side, and it's 17 minus 3. And then we look at the right-hand side, and we're going to put the whole thing in brackets first. 3a, just to help us to see it more clearly. So that's equation 2 minus equation 1. Okay, and we're going to simplify the left-hand side. So that's going to be 14 equals, and then we're going to expand these brackets out. Now the left-hand one, they can just disappear. The brackets don't do anything. The right-hand one doesn't do much. The positive a becomes a negative a, so take away a. And then we're taking away negative b, so we're going to add the b. Now we can collect the terms. So 14 is equal to 3a. Now we can see why I chose to do this, because we've got negative b plus b. Let's first of all collect these. 3a minus a is going to be 2a. Then minus b plus b, well, they're going to cancel out. So that's awesome, because we've got 14 is equal to 2a. Well, clearly a must be equal to 7 then. So that's our first one solved. Now, with all simultaneous equations, once you've got one, the next one's easy, because we can just use any of these equations. For example, we can go for equation 1, and we can say 3 is equal to a minus b. So let's rearrange that. Well, let's just sub the values in straight away. So 3 is equal to 7, because we know that a is 7, minus b. To rearrange that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. Well, I'm going to move the 7 over to the side. Okay, what shall I do? The best way to do this, I'm going to add b to both sides, and then I'm also at the same time going to take away 3. And what we end up with is b is equal to 7 minus 3. So I did those steps in 2 in 1, just to see if you can practice some of your algebra in your head. But you can always pause this video and have another go. And we can see b is apparently equal to 4. So, well, hopefully this is correct. We can check that it's correct in a number of ways. So first of all, we can see, is it true that 3 is equal to a minus b? Does 3 equal 7 minus 4? It does. Okay, then so that's our first check. Second one, is it true that 17 is equal to 3a minus b? Well, 3 times 7 is 21, minus 4 is going to be 17. So that looks good. So we've solved the simultaneous equation, so that looks good. And we can just sub these in. Now, if we're in an exam, we might want to just trust ourselves at this point and then move on to the next question. But because we're just trying to learn this, we want to make sure that we're confident. We can just now see whether or not this is all working out okay. In other words, the fourth term, so not n, x4, should equal to a multiplied by x3, and then take away b. Okay. Now I'm saying that a is 7, so it should be 7 multiplied by x3, and now I'm saying b is 4, so take away 4. And x3 we know is 17. So 7 times 17, take away 4. Well, it looks good because it's going to be a big number. Let's do that on the calculator. So I've actually got a calculator on the screen right now, but you can't see this because I'm not showing my screen. But you will do when you rewatch it. So 7 times 17 is equal to 119. Take away 4, and it does equal 115. So Awesome. We can be pretty confident we've done this correct. That's a pretty hard question. So I'm just going to stop the video and we'll have a little chat about it, and you can always rewatch this video anyway.